Now that all 3 group stages are officially over, we are just 2 days away from the last chance qualifier, which is so many big pros' last chance to be able to make it into grand finals. So I thought, why not make a video for you guys explaining everything to do with the last chance qualifier, including how the format works, what pros are in it, where they're going to be landing, and who I actually think is going to be able to qualify. Real quick before the video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers now, and we are less than 900 subs away from 94,000 subscribers. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. Without further ado though, let's start off this video by just quickly explaining how the format is actually going to work. Alright, so on February 12th, or I mean just depending on what day it is for you, I guess when you're watching this video, the last chance qualifier is going to start, and this tournament is open to all players in either Division 1, Division 2, or Division 3. So if you are currently not a Division 1 player, but you want to be able to try to get a chance to make it into FNCS, this is exactly where you're going to be able to do that at. There is one major positive with this, and then one massive negative to this situation that I feel like a lot of people do kind of see, and that this does have the potential to be a huge cheater fest. When you are opening up a tournament to literally anybody to play in, that is always where we are going to see the most amount of cheaters, and is why you still see a bunch of cheaters on like solo cash cups compared to things like Division 1 nowadays. And especially since there isn't a gap day between the qualifiers and the actual finals, Epic Games is not really going to have enough time to properly ban a lot of these cheaters. And this is also a very strict qualifying format. It is an open tournament that you have to place top 33 in to make the finals. So this is going to be like one of the biggest tournaments since every single division can play in it, and only the top 33 trios are going to be the ones that can actually make finals in a tournament where you're probably going to be dying to cheaters at least 1 or 2 of your games as well. So I don't want to say this is going to be like a Mickey Mouse tournament, but this is going to be very difficult, and I would even argue that this is going to be harder than the actual group stages. If you do somehow find yourself in the finals of the last chance qualifier though, there is only going to be 3 available spots to make it into grand, since 30 teams have already qualified. And the way that you make it into grands is you have to win 1 of the 3 games. So this is a reboot round style format where winning a game sends you directly into the grand finals. Now we have a lot, and I mean so many different teams that are going to have to go through this last chance qualifier to try to make it into grand finals. The first team that I want to highlight is definitely the biggest trio of Mongraal, MrSavage, and Panzer. Now these guys are most likely still going to land at the Bird. It really just depends on who is able to make it into the finals lobby, because they could change their drop spot to somewhere else if a better spot is available. But for the opens, I'm definitely assuming that they're going to at least be landing Bird, and these guys are most likely going to be coached by BloodX throughout the whole tournament, and also probably another pro. Like when they were playing group 3, we saw Malibuka actually coach them for a game or 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some other like super notable pros in their call trying to help them to be able to make it into grands as well. Now these guys were literally only 5 points away, and they placed 2nd place in FNCS group 3, which was definitely the hardest group stage out of all of NA or EU, I would say. So I think they did show that they are capable of being able to make it into grand finals. This isn't just like some slouch team that was getting lucky all tournament. They really did show some impressive things, and EU is definitely going to be more stacked than NA is going to be. And you could call me delusional, but I still do believe in this trio, and I am going to predict them to be one of my teams that I think are going to be able to make it out of last chance qualifier. This would honestly be one of the most insane scripts of all time if they're able to make grands. They are going to have to put in the work though. If they're not full try-harding the eval cup tomorrow, and like grinding scrims today, and really trying to learn some strats on how to win games. When we watched these guys at the beginning of the season, when they were playing like the FNCS play-in and things like that, they look like a very good high ground team. And if we have learned anything throughout the group stages, is high ground wins games. So if they're able to learn how to take high ground at the right times and hold it correctly, I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to win a game. Let me know in the comment section down below though if you guys actually do still believe in this trio, or if I am just being a little bit delusional right now. Next up, I want to talk about 2 trios who I do not think are going to be able to win a game and qual out of last chance qualifier. And starting off with, I'm going gonna have to say the trio of Tripper, ThomasHD, and Ferdoxy, I do not think are going to be able to get the job done. They tweeted out that they are going to be landing at Flooded Frogs, and starting off with that drop spot, we all know that it is definitely the best drop spot in all of the game right now, but at the same time, are they going to be able to get this spot on con in finals? And especially in opens, this spot is probably going to be so heavily contested by so many just random teams, probably cheater teams as well, that if they end up committing to Flooded Frogs for every single game, I could see a real possibility where they don't even qualify. Like, we have to take into account that they finished literally 99th place to even be able to make it into group stages in the first place, and then they finished 19th in the actual group stage, with their best placing game being a 2-elimination 8th place. So I just really haven't seen anything too impressive from them over the past couple of weeks. Obviously, at the end of the day, anything could happen though, especially in a reboot round format. Maybe these guys have been cooking up strats, and I hope that they are able to prove me wrong. The other team that I am currently not going to be predicting to win a game is the trio of Teeny, Chris, and Skavi. Now, these guys really just haven't looked impressive at all season ever since they formed, if we're being honest. They weren't able to make a single Division 1 finals together. They did do pretty decent in the actual play-in to be able to secure their spot into groups, but once their actual group came along, they finished up in 16th place, and their best game was a 9-elimination 8th. I think the only way you can really possibly even hold out hope for these guys, whether you are a fan for them or if you are just the players themselves, is these guys were able to win a game in the last performance evaluation cup, that in that tournament every single team is going for wins. So I mean, maybe that experience and the eval cup tomorrow, if they're able to qualify for finals and get that finals experience once again, then that could potentially help them going into last chance quals now, but I would just not be a person to bet my money on that. Before we get on to the last couple teams I think are going to qual on EU, let's move over to NA now and talk about the trio of Ree, Bryce, and Vert. Now, Ree actually tweeted out last night that they are going to be landing at Flooded Frogs for last chance qualifier, and they are going to be coached by Peterbot and Ritual. Now, of course, we already did talk about Flooded Frogs for the team of like Tripper and landing there on EU, and I think there is a huge difference for Reach trio, not just because, if we're being honest, qualifying on NA is going to be easier at the end of the day than it is on EU, but also when you are getting coached by the best trio in the world who knows the ins and outs of that drop spot and also knows how to win games, I think they are just set up for a lot of success right now, and I definitely am going to be picking these guys to win a game. They also seem so motivated going into last chance. I've seen so many different pros talk about how their FNCS is basically just cooked, but even after they weren't able to qual out of their group, literally the first thing that Reet was talking about was like, oh yeah, we got last chance 100%. And if you want to be able to win a game in this type of format, confidence is key. The next NA team I want to talk about is one that honestly doesn't have the best vibes right now, and it is the trio of NPen, Eshu, and Taki. Now, NPen has literally already tweeted out, first grands I haven't qualified for in 4 years, going to probably try to take a vacation soon and reset. So I mean, he literally didn't even mention last chance qualifier as an opportunity at all in this tweet, but then we did still see Eshu tweet out Mass Meadows plus Maze in last chance qualifier going big or going home. So I would assume that these guys are all still playing together. If you guys didn't know, you can actually play with a brand new trio for last chance qualifier. So these guys are not like locked in, have to play with each other or anything. But if I just had to make an assumption, I think they are going to play together. And I don't think that this NA finals lobby is going to be like super stacked with like the highest quality teams. So if I had to make a prediction, I am going to predict that these guys can win a game. I hope that like NPen's vibes can go up over the next couple of days and he can really start believing in his trio and the capabilities that they do have, because I think them getting into grand finals is still very possible. Let's go back over to EU now and talk about a team that I think has the highest chance out of anybody to make it into grands, and that is the trio of Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. Now, before group stages actually start, I had these guys as a top 3 trio in all of EU, and so from them going from that to potentially not even being able to make grands, if they don't make it, they are definitely probably going to have like the most disappointing season on EU. But I do think that they are the best team in last chance quals as well, and I have so much faith in them that they'll be able to qual to to Grands, they are going to be landing at Kappa Kappa Factory, and I do think that they are able to get the job done. Let's talk about a trio that we don't 100% really know what's going on with them, and they have had a lot of drama in general, and that is potentially the team of Rezon, Kadu, and Sheetan. Now, we already saw Rezon tweet out looking for trio for last chance, but it doesn't look like he is going to be able to find any better teammates than the ones that he just had with Kadu and Sheetan. So as of right now, it does look like they are most likely going to be sticking together and potentially landing Mass Meadows. We don't 100% know where they're going to be landing yet, but this is just where they have been landing throughout this season so far. These guys, of course, were not even able to make it into the group stages. They were like 5 spots away, I think, from being able to qualify to groups. I don't think they're going to be a team that makes grands. I really do not think we're going to see Rezon in this grand finals, which is honestly really unfortunate, but he has just not really had very much luck go his way this season. After getting dropped by like Giannis and Noah Riley earlier in the season, those guys now being in grand finals and potentially having a fully uncontested drop spot, now that really leaves Rezon with basically no options, and he is probably not even going to be in grands. Let's talk about the final team that I think is going to be able to get a win in the last chance qualifier, and this one is kind of just like a complete guess out of left field, but I'm gonna go with the trio of Akira, Podesai, and X Sweeze. And yes, this is the team that has been landing on Cammy all season long, that if we're going with the script of MrSavage and Mongraal calling grands, then we gotta go with Akira's trio to make it as well and contest Cammy in grand finals so that all of the drama between these two teams can just continue to build up. I don't think we have seen like full countries go against each other on the timeline like this in a very long time now. And I mean, hey, I'm here for the drama at the end of the day. I think it would make grand finals even more entertaining. It definitely would suck for Cammy since I do think they have like win potential in grand finals, but trying to predict 3 teams in an opens qualifier format to get wins is just really difficult at the end of the day. So I did want to put in a couple that people might not actually expect. Talking about winners that people probably don't expect, going back to NA, I think the final team to get a win is going to be the trio of Cirque, Phenom, and Rafiki. Now, I honestly didn't know much or really at all anything about this trio before I actually watched them play in Group 2, and their best games in Group 2 were a 2nd place and a 5th place in Group 2. If we're just being real here, there's probably going to be just some random team that none of us know about is probably going to win 1 or 2 games in the last chance qualifier. So I'm kind of just taking a shot in the dark here and saying Cirque, Phenom, and Rafiki are going to be one of those teams that can actually pull off a win. I think the final 2 teams I want to talk about is one of them I think does have a potential to win a game, and then the other one I don't have too much faith in, unfortunately. Let's start off with the trio though of Asian Jeff, Alo, and Krillian. Now, they have already announced that they are going to Hopeful Heights, and I think that this team does have a chance to be able to win a game. I'm not giving them a very high chance, but I think it is still possible at the end of the day. And then the other team includes a person who was able to make their first ever heats of Somerset, Carrot, and Sieges. Now, these guys have already gone Warriors Watch for most of the season, and they went there in heats as well. The only reason why I am really even talking about these people in the first place is because I think Somerset's trio maybe has the potential to get coached by like some top of the line pros. Maybe Clicks will potentially coach them if they're able to make it in, but I also just really wouldn't be surprised at the end of the day if they didn't make it to finals in general. If you guys have any other questions about the last chance qualifier, don't be afraid to let me know them in the comment section down below, and I will try to respond to as many people as possible. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as hitting 100,000 subscribers would be like winning FNCS to me. So if you want to help me to be able to win FNCS, please subscribe to the channel right now. If you want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. I cannot thank everybody enough who uses my code. Thank you guys all so much. YouTube says to enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at SillyKDog to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.